All right, so I got some exciting stuff. We're in week 2 of my 12-week coaching program. And in my opinion, week 2 is one of the most important weeks. And the reason why that is because week 2 is self-awareness and personal growth. Okay, now a little background on me. I'm not any kind of a counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I didn't go to any amount of college for any of this. I'm a life coach. And weeks like this are very important for those people who are wondering, like, Jake, you never went to school for any of this. How are you going to help me? Let me tell you how, okay? So self-awareness and personal growth. I got the workbook here, and I'm going to read a quote that I wrote here in the book. So this is my quote. It says, "True self-awareness is the catalyst for personal growth. It is only by peering into the depths of our own souls and embracing our strengths and weaknesses that we can unlock the door to transformative change." Okay, so we need to look at ourselves. Now, I didn't go to school, but let's say I have a client whose name is Bob. Okay, I don't. It's just an example. I'm probably going to get a client named Bob now, which is going to be funny. But Bob, I could go to schooling for years and years and years, but there's not a school of Bob, right? I can't go to school and spend years learning about Bob. But guess who has the most experience knowing about Bob? Bob does, right? Bob has lived his whole life as Bob. He knows Bob best, right? So me working with Bob and going into his self-awareness and his personal growth is going to give me the tools I need to be successful, to help him out, to be a successful coach with Bob, right? So what I wrote in the book is below are self-awareness techniques to better understand your personal values, emotions, and triggers. So your personal values, I need to know what your values are as a person. And the reason why that is because if you are not lined up with your values, we need to get you on track, right? We need to figure out, okay, you're at point A and you want to be at point B, because those are my values and I need to be lined up with them. So we make goals accordingly, right? So if your name is Bob, there's not a school of Bob, you need to tell me what your stuff is, your values, so that we can line you up with your values, okay? Emotions, how to have emotional intelligence, deal with your emotions, figure out why you're feeling a certain way at a certain time, right? And then triggers. Now, the cool thing about triggers is I've been doing a lot of training lately with triggers. And the cool thing about triggers is they are a compass that is pointing towards the parts of ourselves that we need to improve on in order to grow. So if we're triggered, if we're constantly being triggered by something, it's trying to teach us, like, hey, this is a place where you need self-growth. So it's a compass, right? And part of what I'm going to be doing this week with you as a coach is we are going to find that compass, and it's going to point us to those places in your life that you need to improve on, okay? And I want to help you identify what that is, and your compass as the client is going to point us, you and I, to those things, okay? So mindfulness, it's important to encourage the practice of mindfulness by cultivating a non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. You can gain valuable insights into your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. This deeper understanding of yourself will contribute to your overall well-being. Okay, so you need to be mindful of why you're feeling a certain way, right? Journaling. Journaling is so important, guys. There's no better way that I know of that will help you dive deep into yourself than just writing it down. Okay, journaling, write it down. Write down what you're feeling, what you experience, what you're experiencing, what's going on, where you want to be. Write down your goals, write down your ideal life, write down those things that you want to accomplish. Write down what's holding you back. I mean, just journaling. So in this week, we're going to be focusing very hard on making journaling a habit throughout these 12 weeks. Okay, so journaling is very important. Values, clarification. So we talked about values already, identifying your values, and it's so important to identify what your values are so that we can line you up with those values. Emotional awareness. Developing emotional intelligence is key. Identify and label your emotions using specific emotion words. Additionally, paying attention to the physical sensations associated with different emotions can deepen your emotional awareness and understanding. So, if you're feeling angry or you're feeling upset or something just pisses you off, you need to understand why it's triggering you so much. We need to peel back the layers, right? We need to understand why this is so upsetting for you, or maybe something makes you very sad, or maybe something makes you very happy. It's important to understand those things, and we're going to be diving deep. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Week 2, as we're diving in and we're peeling the layers back and we're doing these things, it's going to get a little uncomfortable. It's going to get uncomfortable. And I just want you to know that I'm here to help. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to laugh at you. I'm not here to any of that. I am just here to help you pull the layers back, identify the compass that's pointing us to where we need to change and grow. I'm going to be sharing my experiences with you as well. I'm going to be vulnerable with you. I'm going to be pulling my layers back. Okay? And it's all for us to grow together. Now, week 2 is so cool because it's an opportunity for you and I to really understand ourselves. Like, how exciting is that? It's pretty exciting. Trigger identification. So we talked about how the triggers are our compass, right? That are pointing us to those places we need to improve on and we need to grow on. Because our limits are holding us back, right? We have certain limits in our lives that are keeping us where we are, and we don't want to be here anymore, right? We want to be somewhere else. There's a place we want to be other than here. Like look around, this can't be it, right? We got to grow. We got to have more. There's more that we need to do in life, right? And so those triggers are going to show us where we're limiting ourselves. Okay, so it's so important. I'm going to identify those with you. Okay, and the cool thing about it is, and I know that this is me doing my own course, and it sounds like I'm just talking about you the whole time, but it's things that I'm doing, that I'm journaling, and that I'm being mindful of. So I just want you to know that I just want you to know that I care and that I love you, and that as we're finding these things, it's going to be for your good. Even though it's painful, even though it's going to be awkward, even though it's going to kind of suck at times, it's going to be hard and difficult, we're going to get past it. And we're going to identify what we need to do to change and to grow. Now, for the action plan for the week, we will review your identified values, insights, and triggers to develop a list of goals to foster personal further growth. Now, your relationship that you have with yourself, because this is a 12-week coaching program that is focused on relationships. Now, you need to understand that the relationship that you have with yourself is a reflection. The relationships that you have in your life are a reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. So if you have a negative relationship with yourself, you have a hard relationship with yourself, it's hard to have a good, solid relationship with others, right? And so all of this stuff is to lead us towards the end goal of having successful, amazing relationships in our lives. And it's very important that we need to understand that it starts with us, right? It starts with the relationship we have with ourselves. So that's what week 2 is all about. And in my opinion, like I said, one of the most important weeks of the course.